Ciryl
28-0!
McGregor
Talking about a guy who is
What's up, my homies? Lay here. Derrick Lewis taking on Ciryl Gane, or Gane. It's a pay-per-view, man. It's a big one. I'm excited. Hey, shout out to all the homies last week that left comments saying, yo, you're sparking up so much that the smoke break should just be a break. It shouldn't even be a smoke break anymore. That's hilarious. Really funny. Yo, guys, head kick the like button. Let's get into breaking these ones down. Alright, guys, we've got Johnny Muhnoz Jr. taking on Jamey Simmons. Now, Johnny Muhnoz, 0 wins, 1 loss inside the UFC. Jamey Simmons, 0 wins, 1 loss inside the UFC. So you don't really want to be losing this matchup. If you lose this matchup, you go 0-2. It's not looking good, right? Now, taking a look at Johnny Muhnoz, his debut, and taking a look at Jamey Simmons' debut, two completely different performances. Johnny Muhnoz, he put in a good shift. It was quite a close fight. Jamey Simmons, on the flip side, he got head kicked. But then again, he was put in there on short notice against Chiesa. It was always going to go bad. So Jamey Simmons has had a full camp. Johnny Muhnoz has had a full camp. It's a good matchup. I'm going to side with Johnny Muhnoz here. I just believe his skill level is a little bit higher. Quite a bit higher than Jamey Simmons. If I'm looking at ways Jamey Simmons is going to win this matchup, maybe keep it kicking distance. I see way more possibilities for Johnny Muhnoz. The grappling, the boxing speed. I just prefer Johnny Muhnoz to start this card. I don't really rate Jamey Simmons too highly. But the great thing about mixed martial arts, come Saturday night I get to see, is Jamey Simmons really about it? I'm going to find out. My prediction is going to be Johnny Muhnoz. Maybe a submission. Yeah, my numbers for this one, I'm putting Johnny Muhnoz at least a -200. And the actual numbers, we've got Johnny Muhnoz -230 up to -250. So that kind of tells me that a lot of people are fading Jamey Simmons. But we do have to acknowledge that the debut was never going to go well. Right? On short notice, it was never going to go well. This matchup is a way better matchup for Jamey Simmons. But I think Johnny Muhnoz finds his first win. Alright guys, Victoria Leonardo taking on Melissa Gatto. Yeah, pick'em central for this one. If you're looking at reasons on why we should bet on Victoria Leonardo, or reasons why we should predict that she wins, she's been more active. She's got pretty good wrestling. Not the greatest wrestling, obviously. You wouldn't put it on the same level as a Daniel Cormier or Khabib. But that's what she's looking to do, you know. She's looking to wrestle the opponent. Now, Melissa Gatto hasn't been inside the octagon in roughly 3 years. She does have a submission win against Karol Rosa, which is a pretty good win to have. So if Victoria Leonardo looks to take down Melissa, looks to use her wrestling in this matchup, you've got to be careful of the jiu-jitsu of Melissa Gatto. Having said all of that, it is still a hard thing to do to find submissions off your back in mixed martial arts. Melissa Gatto has 8 fights as a pro, right? So if Victoria Leonardo takes her down, I wouldn't exactly be super confident that she's going to find another submission. Obviously, it's nice to see that she can submit an opponent like Karol Rosa off her back. It's nice to see. But I wouldn't exactly bank on it happening again, right? Now, if this fight is kept striking between Victoria Leonardo and Melissa Gatto, again, guys, in my opinion, 50-50. Maybe I'd go 60-40 to Melissa Gatto, because Leonardo just looks like an out-and-out wrestler. But yeah, man, this one, it's really a pick'em, in my opinion. I'm going to side with the more active fighter. I did the same thing last week with Nico Montana and Yanan Wu. Obviously, we didn't get that matchup. But I do like the active fighters. And I know some fighters come in after 5 years away. Jessica Penne, right? And she'll get a win. And that guy who fought Jorgen De Castro, he was really inactive, came in, got a win. So I'll take Victoria, most likely a decision. Really difficult prediction to make. My numbers, I'm going to keep them real close, -110 each. And we've got Melissa Gatto, -130, -140. Victoria Leonardo coming back, +110. This is a difficult matchup to predict, and that's why the line is close. My prediction is going to be Victoria. Miles Johns taking on Anderson Dos Santos. Now, I've already broke this fight down a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to keep it quite short. Miles Johns, primarily a wrestler. But if you watch his last fight against Kevin Natividad, if that's the only fight you watch from Miles Johns, you would never guess that this guy is a wrestler. He made him look like a slinky with that uppercut. If you haven't seen it, go check it. You want to say it's hilarious, but obviously when you see a guy go down and it's that violent, you don't want to say it's hilarious, but he did look like a slinky. Now, Anderson Dos Santos, this guy getting on in age a little bit for the bantamweight division. Primarily a jiu-jitsu fighter. If the fight isn't on the mat, he's throwing heavy punches. Maybe he's going to level change if you don't. He's not the most technical. The only way I really see Anderson Dos Santos winning this matchup is if he can find a submission off his back, or even like a Hail Mary KO. For the most part, I see Miles Johns, the wrestler, dictating this fight. Whether he's taking down Anderson and being wary of the jiu-jitsu, or pushing Anderson up against the fence, I much prefer Miles Johns in this spot. And let's check the odds on this matchup. We've got Miles Johns pretty much the same, minus 200. Anderson Dos Santos coming back plus 160, plus 170. Now, I might be wrong in predicting this, but I think the only way Anderson's gonna win is inside the distance. So if anyone takes like a little Hail Mary prop on Anderson Dos Santos inside the distance and he somehow wins a decision, I'm really sorry. But my prediction is going to be Miles Johns' decision. I think the only way he loses is if Anderson Dos Santos pulls something crazy out of the bag. So yeah, I'll stick there with Miles Johns. Alright guys, moving into the next one, we've got Manel Kape taking on Osbourne. Yeah, this is a good matchup, man. So, Manel, 0 wins, 2 losses inside the UFC. If we're going back and we're looking at his UFC matchups, there's something that I'm noticing with Manel. He just kind of lets the fight be close, and I'm not sure why that is. His debut was obviously a difficult debut against Pantoja, but then he got Matthew Nicolai in his most recent fight. And that one, you know, that fight was there for the taking. But he just allowed it to be a little bit close, closing into the end of that fight. And the split decision went against him. Now, Osbourne has a loss to Brian Kelleher, got taken down. But then he got a big knockout win against Jerome Rivera. Which is, you know, expected against Jerome Rivera. So this one, man, I've taken Manel Kape 2 times in the UFC. I've been wrong twice. I'm going to take him again. I'm going to take him to get his first win here, guys. The experience difference. Manel Kape has 21 pro fights. Osbourne has 12. You know? So Manel really needs to use his experience in this one. Whether it's take down Osbourne, fight from a distance, use more output. He needs to use his experience to get a win in this matchup. Now, Osbourne, his boxing looked pretty nice against Jerome Rivera. It was quick. It was really quick, you know. But I'm not too sure that it's gonna translate against Manel Kape, a guy who has more experience. He's gonna be more aware than Jerome Rivera. More movement, quicker movement, more feints. Just everything more than Jerome Rivera. Although I don't feel super confident based off his 2 UFC fights so far, I'm still gonna side with Manel Kape. The experience, in my opinion, has to be the difference here. My numbers, I'd put Manel at least a minus 170. And we've got Manel Kape minus 200. Wow. You know, you see his 2 UFC fights and you kind of think, is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 3 losses in a row? Osbourne isn't a pushover. You know, this guy is here to fight. So if Manel Kape does not turn up prepared, he may be looking at getting cut from the UFC. But that's going to be my prediction. I'll take Manel Kape. Oh my goodness. Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Jessica Penne. Wow, let's go. So Karolina, man, let's take a look, right? She got badly knocked out by Jessica Andrade. And it wasn't just a normal knockout, you know. She got sent to another realm with that punch. Since then, she hasn't won a fight. She's lost to Michelle Waterson, which is, you know, that's not a bad loss. She's lost to Yan, you know, that Chinese fighter. Potential future champion if she improves her takedown defense. Again, it's not a bad loss. And then she lost to, who was the other one? We're going to check real quick. Alexa Grasso. Just a nasty, vicious boxer. Again, not a bad loss. But it is 4 losses in a row for Karolina. So she's been given Jessica Penne in a matchup. I believe if she doesn't win this matchup, she just needs to be done with mixed martial arts. Now, Jessica Penne returned to the octagon just a few months ago. She was off for 5 years. Came back. The fight was pretty close against Lupita Godinez, but she got a split decision win. Can she beat Karolina? The answer's not no, right? The answer's definitely not no. But it's still going to be difficult, you know? I see Karolina as a better striker. If these two ladies engage in the clinch, I think Karolina's going to do some nasty work in those grappling exchanges too. I was actually at Karolina's last win, which was in New York. I remember her landing knees against Felice Herrig. I remember that when Felice Herrig got close and was able to establish any grappling position, Karolina was doing work. If Jessica Penne chooses to engage with the grappling, I'm expecting the same type of thing here. Karolina has to be the one landing damage. I do believe she has one more win in her, and I'm going to take her to beat Jessica Penne. My numbers, I'd put Karolina minus 140, Jessica Penne plus 110. And the actual numbers, we've got Karolina minus 120, Jessica Penne plus 100. Yeah, so that alone, guys, it kind of tells me people are seeing Karolina as the one who should win, but they don't want to put Jessica Penne too much of an underdog. It's 4 losses in a row now for Karolina, but she has to stop the rot here against Jessica Penne. So that's going to be my prediction. I'll take Karolina to be the better striker and to find one last win. Alright, moving into the next one, we've got Ed Herman taking on Alonzo Menifield. Yeah, I'll be pausing the breakdown, rolling up and sparking up for this one. My goodness. Alright guys, we're back. Now the reason we're sparking up for this one, Ed Herman, 40 years old, still going strong. You love to see it. Ed Herman's been winning a few fights. You know, he beat that Russian kid who just isn't that good. Who else did he beat, man? He beat Patrick Cummins. And he beat Mike. Oh my God. Guys, who remembers Mike Rodriguez finishing that fight? The ref completely messing up. And then Ed Herman gets a submission. Round 3. With what, 50 seconds to go? Oh my goodness. So yeah, Ed Herman still going strong. The opponent, Alonzo Menifield. Now this man will knock you dead. You know, let's just put it like that. He will knock you dead. But there is a plot twist with this one. If he doesn't knock you dead in round 1, kinda fatigues, kinda gets tired. There's a lot of muscle on the frame of Alonzo Menifield. If you can survive that early storm, that onslaught of power coming your way in round 1, there's a chance you're going to beat him. However, I do want to mention that every now and then this round 1 or bust fighter will win outside of round 1. If Alonzo Menifield is going to find a TKO outside of round 1, it's probably going to be against Ed Herman, right? So although I see Alonzo as a dangerous prediction purely because of that round 1 or bust, I think it could be extended a little bit here. So that has to be my prediction. I'm going to take Alonzo Menifield to break the chin of Ed Herman, whether it's round 1 or round 2. My numbers, I'd have to put Alonzo Menifield at least a minus 250. And we've got Alonzo Menifield minus 220 up to minus 250. Yeah, I can't pick Ed Herman here. I know he's been winning. I know Alonzo is potentially round 1 or bust. But I have to stick with Alonzo. Ed Herman, 40 years old. I can't do it. I have to pick Alonzo. Alright, we've got Drako Rodriguez taking on Vince Morales. Low-key decent competitive matchup. Now Drako Rodriguez, we saw this guy on the Contender Series. Got a pretty nice submission win off his back. Then he debuted against Zahabi, where it was looking pretty okay, in all fairness. But then, I believe it was an overhand left or an overhand right. Out of nowhere, that punch couldn't have connected any more flush with Drako Rodriguez. He collapsed. That was that, fight done. Although his kickboxing was looking okay up until that moment, the fact that happened, it just it puts me off of Drako Rodriguez, especially striking. Now if Rodriguez was to look for takedowns in this matchup, I'd give him way more of a chance. Now the opponent, Vince Morales, isn't exactly the next Israel Adesanya. This guy isn't exactly elite. He's got 1 win inside the UFC. 3 losses, arguably back against the wall, has to win this matchup. I like the pressure that he used against Song Yadong, although pressure alone isn't going to win a matchup if the striking isn't close. He got his leg badly beaten up by Chris Gutierrez. So yeah, man, Vince Morales hasn't exactly had the best time in the UFC. It's a good competitive matchup, but I'm going to side with Vince Morales here. Like I said, this is make or break for Vince. So he has to get in there, man. Be the one dictating the boxing. Be the one using more forward pressure, more output. And if he chooses to take down Drako, because Vince has got some wrestling. This guy does like to wrestle. If he chooses to take down Drako, has to be careful of the jiu-jitsu, because that's where Drako, in my opinion, is most dangerous. Yeah, really difficult prediction to make, but I'm going to side with Vince Morales. Maybe a decision. My numbers, I'd put Vince -120, Drako Rodriguez +110. And we've got Drako Rodriguez -120, Vince Morales +100. So despite the way Drako Rodriguez got badly knocked out in his UFC debut, more people still siding with him in this prediction, in this matchup. I'm going to take the underdog. This will be my second underdog on the card. Yeah, I'll take Vince Morales in this one. Alright, my homies, last prelim fight. And what a prelim fight this is. Rafael Fiziev, taking on Bobby Green. Yeah, fire matchup. So for those of you that don't know, Fiziev is actually a Muay Thai coach at Tiger Muay Thai. I'm not entirely sure if he's still the coach. I know he was previous, especially with the last breakdown that I did. But I went on his Instagram and I see him training a little bit with Shavkat. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if he's still the coach. Regardless, Rafael Fiziev has some of the nastiest Muay Thai you're ever going to see. If this guy kicks you, you're not going to take too many, especially not on your calf. But here's the problem, if you start anticipating that he's going to kick your calf, he's going to raise the kick. It's going to go to the body. And if you get the body wrong, he goes to the head, it could be game over. You see the way Fiziev sets down Moicano with that left hook. You expect the kicks and then he comes with the punches. I think the bottom line for Fiziev, this guy is a high level, nasty, powerful striker. That's the way I see Rafael Fiziev. Now Bobby Green, this man's a veteran of the game. You cannot teach Bobby Green anything. He knows it all. Despite knowing it all, this guy is primarily a boxer. He loves to box, right? Of course, we can mention the grappling side of Bobby Green too. He can wrestle. I'm not too sure he's going to wrestle here. Fiziev has really good conditioning, really good cardio. So if you try to take him down, he's not just going to accept that. He's going to scramble, he's going to roll. He's going to look to chain wrestle with you. I kind of feel like this one's going to be a kickboxing match. And if it is, it's going to be kicking versus boxing. Rafael Fiziev is going to look to kick the legs and the body of Bobby Green. Bobby Green wants to use that boxing. I think inside the octagon, it's easier to kick the opponent than to box the opponent. Especially when you've got a guy that's just looking to box you and you're the guy who just wants to kick. So that's what I'm going to side with here. I think Rafael is going to kick the legs of Bobby Green and just put on a striking clinic. My numbers, I'd put Rafael Fiziev at least a minus 250. That's maybe a little bit harsh, maybe minus 220. You know, it is Bobby Green. This guy can box. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, triple amen, gang. Let's go. Just got a message on Instagram. You and Dan Hardy are the only opinions I trust breaking down a fight. Guys, you know, I'm going to do the Instagram and the Patreon quick and then I'll go into what I want to speak about. So my Instagram, UFC Lay. My Patreon. Guys, massive shout out to my Patreons, man. The Discord betting group is lit. The last card, I wish I could say it was a good one. It just wasn't, right? We bet on Rafa Garcia. It didn't happen. The first minute, it looked great. The first minute looked like, this is the spot. But then he became a punch bag, right? So yeah, massive shout out to my Patreons, guys. Much love to you. We're going to get it on this card. We're going to get it. So yeah, the smoke break topic, guys. Be grateful. Be very grateful for the good things that you have in your life. You know, this is what I want to mention for the smoke break topic. I'm closing in on 10,000 subscribers. You know, it's just crazy. And I've enjoyed every week, man. You know, I started this channel in August 2018. It's now August 2021. 3 years later, and I'm literally right here. I'm at 10,000 subscribers. I'm like 10 subs off of it. You know, I'm truly blessed, lucky, and grateful for every single one of you guys, man. You know, and like I mentioned at the start, when I just sparked up, I get some messages on Instagram, man, and it's like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy for me to get these messages. You know, it's insane. You know, I see myself as just this random English stoner who started speaking about fights. And it's kind of got a little bit out of hand, right? It's got a little bit out of hand, guys. But man, that's the message that I want to give you. You know, be grateful and appreciative of the good things that you have in life. Don't look at what you haven't got. Look at what you have got, right? And you know, you can work on the things that you haven't got. You work towards them. But on the way towards achieving your goals, achieving the things that you don't have, be grateful for everything that you do have. You know, that's how I feel in life, man. I feel really blessed and lucky to have what I have. So yeah, I just want to say to you guys, man, thank you so much. You know, I can't thank you guys enough for the support I get every week. Listen, my support is so good, yeah? I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this. I didn't want to mention this, but I'm going to say it. My support is that good, guys, that some people think, like a couple people think that my comment section is fake. A couple people think that you guys are fake. You know, the Instagram followers, the messages, the YouTube likes, the YouTube comments, the subscribers, the views. My support is that good that a couple salty people think it's fake. You know, and I take this as a compliment. Again, it makes me realize just how lucky of a person that I am. I'm so lucky, man. You know, and when you feel lucky in life, when you feel like, man, I'm lucky to have this, cherish it. You know, never take it for granted. I reply to every single Instagram DM that I get. I try to reply to every single YouTube comment that I get. You know, I'm lucky to be in a position where, you know, some Fridays and some Saturdays, my DMs get so overwhelming and it's like, man, if I reply to these 10, 15 people, by the time I reply, I've got another 20 messages to reply to. But man, I love it. You know, I love it. I don't see it as, oh man, I just want to stop replying to people. You know, I see it as, I'm so lucky to get all of this support. I'm so lucky to engage with all of my homies. That why would I not? Why would I not? And you know, some people on Instagram are like, man, I can't believe you messaged me. I can't believe you messaged me. And when I see that message, it's like, bro, I can't believe that you can't believe that I wouldn't. You know? Hey, you guys are my homies, man. And I'm truly grateful. You know, 10,000 subscribers 3 years later. I'm a lucky person. I'm a lucky person. You know, Jim Carrey once said, and the whole audience laughed at this comment, because when you think of Jim Carrey, you think of a funny guy, right? But Jim Carrey once said he was lucky to play the character Jim Carrey. I'm lucky to play the character Lay. I'm lucky to play that character. I really am. Just be grateful, man. Be grateful for what you have. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel grateful. Lucky and grateful, man. Alright guys, let's break down this main card pay-per-view. Let's go. Alright, first fight on this main card. And what a matchup this is, by the way. We've got Song Yadong, or Yadong Song, whichever you prefer, taking on Kenney. Man, what a matchup. Whatever prediction you make, again, you don't feel great about it because you know what you're betting against. You know what you're predicting against. And if you don't know what you're predicting against, let me be the one to tell you, man. You're tuning into the breakdown. I'll be the one to tell you. So Song Yadong, this guy is an out-and-out striker. Trains at Team Alpha Male, so obviously he knows how to grapple here and there. But when you think about Song Yadong, you think about a pure striker. To give you even more of an insight into his striking background, this guy was basically put into a school of mixed martial arts as a kid. You know, that was his learning growing up. His learning was, I need to learn how to fight. So that's what Song Yadong has been doing his whole life. He's only 22, 23 years old, but he's been kicking and punching from 5 years old. Now, Kenney, guys, I don't know if it's because I'm baked or not, but Kenney would kind of be the real life version of Kenney from South Park. Oh, man. All right. Kenney, this guy's a dog, right? He's a dog. He's going to walk forward, man. He's got high output. The body kicks, the low kicks. Kenney's going to try and kick you. When you think about the fighter Kenney, you think determination, grit, a top work ethic. Just a guy who's going to keep walking forward. And if your heart and determination isn't on the same level, yeah, he's going to expose you. He's going to get the win. Now, Song Yadong, in my opinion, guys, this guy's lost his last 3 fights. I think he lost to Cody Stamann. I think he lost to Marlon Vera. He lost that fight to Kyler Phillips. Despite not winning his last few matchups, I'm still going to pick Song Yadong. And the reason why I'm going to make that prediction, I just think Kenney is going to leave himself a little bit open for a few counter punches that's going to win the round for Song Yadong. The rounds may be close because Kenney has a high output. He's going to keep walking forward. He may even choose to grapple with Song Yadong. But I think the counter punching of Song, that's going to be what we speak about in these rounds. You know, it's a difficult prediction to make. And like I said, whatever side you pick, you don't feel great because you know what you're betting against. But I'm going to take the counter punching of Song Yadong. And my numbers, I'll keep them pretty close. I'll put Song minus 130. Kenney plus 100. And we've got Kenney minus 120. Song Yadong plus 100. So that's going to be another underdog prediction for me. I'm going to take the Chinese fighter, Song Yadong. Alright, we've got Tecia Torres taking on Angela Hill. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest. I have swapped my prediction on this one. I've changed my mind, man. Initially, I was leaning towards Tecia Torres. I was making that prediction. But I've kind of swapped over to Angela Hill. Now, whether I'm wrong or right on this prediction, it's not going to matter too much to me because I'm not going to bet on this fight. And I don't think you guys should bet on this one either. Reasons why you should predict and bet on Tecia if you do. She's a better kicker than Angela Hill. She's more explosive. And she maybe takes down Angela. We've seen Angela taken down many times. Now, reasons to potentially bet on Angela Hill. She may have more output than Tecia Torres. She's got the bigger octagon to work with. And her boxing is arguably better than Tecia's. So I can see a few positives for Angela Hill. I can see some positives for Tecia. Ultimately, I see good matchmaking. I see good matchmaking and just a fight where it's hard to bet on. Like I said, initially, I was leaning towards Tecia. Right now, I want to side with the boxing of Angela Hill. You know, Tecia's going to fire those kicks. You have to be out of kicking distance. Just stick the jab the way Angela Hill does. Inside the bigger octagon, I'm preferring Angela Hill. My numbers, guys, I'm going to keep them real close, -110 each. We've got Angela Hill +110, +115. So yeah, guys, that's another underdog prediction for me. Angela Hill, just a slight underdog, rightfully so. You shouldn't have her +150, +160. This line is close for a reason. It's a good fight. Alright guys, we've got Vicente Luque taking on Michael Chiesa. Man, you know there's going to be something crazy that happens in this one. So Vicente Luque, if you don't know this guy, he's a killer. The guy is a killer. He can put you out in the pocket. He can blast you with kicks. He can even grapple. You know, if you go to the mat with this guy, he has some jiu-jitsu. Now Luque does take a lot of damage. He dishes a lot of damage, but he also takes a lot of damage. But Michael Chiesa isn't exactly a guy who is going to break your face, right? Michael Chiesa likes to grapple. And there's a reason that he likes to grapple. Jiu-jitsu is his foundation. And he's got a big frame, right? He used to fight at 155. And his frame was pretty big there. Even at welterweight, he still has a big frame. So Michael Chiesa is going to look to do what Michael Chiesa does. And that's clinch the opponent. Put him against the fence, look for trips. Just grapple. He wants to grapple with the opponent. Now, like I said, Vicente Luque does have pretty good jiu-jitsu. He can grapple himself. But he shouldn't look to do that here. Because if you're doing that with Michael Chiesa, ultimately you're still giving him the matchup that he wants. Of course, there is going to be moments where Michael Chiesa tries to crash into the clinch. Even if this happens, I think Vicente Luque could potentially catch him with a few powerful punches, right? He's going to look to punish Michael as he closes that distance. I kind of see Michael Chiesa getting some takedowns here and there. But I just see Vicente Luque causing a lot of damage. You know, this is a really, really good matchup. Again, another difficult prediction to make. But I think if Vicente Luque can strike more than not, I think he wins this matchup. So I'm going to take Vicente Luque via decision. Could be a TKO as well. You know, Vicente, like I said, the guy's really violent. My numbers, I'd put Luque at least a -140. Chiesa +110. And we've got Vicente Luque -120. Chiesa +110, +100. You would kind of guess that Luque would be more of a favourite. But when you think about what Michael Chiesa does, and he does quite well, has a lot of success with it. Yeah, the line's close. It's good matchmaking. I'm going to take the Brazilian. Alright, my homies, co-main event. We've got Jose Aldo taking on Pedro Muhnoz. Now, this is a matchup you have to spark up for. And I'm going to tell you why. When you've got a legend in Jose Aldo, who's making an appearance inside the octagon, you spark up. The guy is a legend. We have to cherish Jose Aldo. Now, this is great matchmaking. When you look at the styles of both of these guys, you see a good fight. So let's start with Pedro Muhnoz. This guy is primarily a BJJ practitioner. His foundation of fighting is jiu-jitsu, which is a self-defense art. You know, you're defending yourself in a way where you fold up the opponent that the opponent says no more. You know, you win, right? That's what Pedro Muhnoz likes to do. It's the jiu-jitsu. However, if you look at his matchups and you haven't seen him grapple, you wouldn't really guess that he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Specifically speaking about the Rivera matchup, his last matchup. If you go watch that, you see loads of low kicks. You see Pedro Muhnoz landing this low kick time and time again. He's done it for a long time now. He did it to Frankie Edgar. He opened up the KO against Cody Garbrandt with the low kicks. Pedro Muhnoz, if he isn't using his jiu-jitsu, he's blasting your calf with nasty, nasty, powerful kicks. Now, Jose Aldo is also a guy who can blast your calf with nasty kicks, but he's kind of left that side of his game. He doesn't really kick as much as he used to. I see more of a Jose Aldo kicking game in Pedro Muhnoz than I do Jose Aldo. Now, the one area that I do see Jose having a big advantage, the boxing. The boxing speed and the boxing technique. If you're not careful, Jose Aldo will rip to your body. He'll finish you with body strikes. He'll break your chin. You know, you see that against Moicano. You know, he got a little bit too calm in there. And Jose Aldo said, hey, I'm still here, bro. I'm going to take you out. So the way I personally see this matchup, guys, we've got a jiu-jitsu guy who learned how to kick the calf. I don't think it's going to happen here. If Pedro Muhnoz blasts Jose Aldo with those nasty calf kicks and he completely proves me wrong, man, all the credit in the world to Pedro Muhnoz. But I don't see it happening. I think if this fight is kept in a kickboxing situation, we're going to see the legend Jose Aldo show that he's a better striker. Maybe we see a little bit of grappling out of Pedro Muhnoz. But you look at Jose Aldo grapple against Marlon Vera. He knows how to grapple too. You know, Jose Aldo's a legend. He can do it all. Is it prime Jose Aldo? No, it's not. But is he still good enough to compete with Pedro Muhnoz? I think so. So I'm going to take Jose Aldo. Most likely a decision. My numbers on this one, guys. I would price Jose Aldo around -160. And we've got Jose Aldo -130. So a lot of respect coming in for Pedro Muhnoz. I mean, when you look at the way this guy will blast you with kicks, it's understandable. But I can't see it happening against a legend like Jose Aldo. So that's going to be my prediction on this one. I'll take the legend, the king of Rio de Janeiro, Jose Aldo. Alright, my homies, main event. Derrick Lewis taking on Ciryl Gane. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, Hamzat style, please go ahead and do that. And guys, I've enjoyed breaking down this pay-per-view, man. I'm lucky to be able to do this. So we've got Derrick Lewis taking on Ciryl Gane. Now, for all my hardcore homies who know exactly how this matchup plays out, I don't even need to tell you. But for those of you that are kind of finding UFC for the first time, I'm still going to break this one down, right? Derrick Lewis, he's not going to win a decision. He can barely win a 15-minute decision, let alone a 25-minute decision. Derrick Lewis is not going to submit you. You know, I don't know if Derrick Lewis drills jiu-jitsu techniques, but he's not going to do that. He just isn't going to go for a submission. Even if you told Derrick you can only win by sub, he'll still probably try and knock you out. That is the only way Derrick Lewis wins this matchup. He must knock out Ciryl Gane. You have to knock out Ciryl Gane. You know, if you play this guy's game of cat and mouse, you do this, I do that, I smile, you smile, let's keep it friendly, like I mentioned a few weeks ago. If you play this game with Ciryl Gane, you're going to lose 9 times out of 10. And that's if you're not that type of style, right? If you're that type of style, then maybe you've got a better chance. But as of right now, you look at Ciryl Gane's matchups, they're not giving him anyone that can replicate what he's doing. You know, what he's doing in there is very light on his feet. Just touching you with techniques. You know, he's not putting 100% into every kick, into every jab. He's just touching you. He's outworking you. He's outclassing you. Some people find his style a little bit boring, but I find it very entertaining. I think it's super high level. I put it right up there with the elite strikers of the game. I think Ciryl Gane has more speed, better movement, better agility. I think he's better in many areas, more so than Derrick Lewis. But despite all of that, despite having said all of that, Derrick Lewis still possesses the power to knock anybody out. So even if Derrick Lewis is losing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he's always in the fight purely because of his power. And that's really the matchup we have here. We have Ciryl Gane, who's going to outclass Derrick Lewis until he gets knocked out. Or we have Ciryl Gane, who's going to outclass Lewis, potentially get a stoppage to the body, or a decision win. That's really the only options that we have here. Derrick Lewis is going to find a KO, or he's going to lose. I haven't picked against Ciryl Gane yet, guys. I took him in his debut. I've taken him every single matchup up until this point. And I'm definitely not going to pick against him here. My prediction is going to be Ciryl Gane to win the interim heavyweight championship. And my numbers, man, I have to price him at least a minus 300. You know, Derrick Lewis has a small chance. That chance can happen. We know he can do it. And in all honesty, out of everyone that Gane has fought to date, this is the most difficult matchup yet. Some people would say Volkov is more difficult, but I don't think so, because Volkov doesn't have the power that Derrick Lewis has. He maybe moves better. He's maybe a better striker in terms of movement and output. But in terms of being dangerous, Derrick Lewis, you don't get more dangerous than Derrick Lewis. So my prediction, guys, I'll take the Frenchman, Ciryl Gane, minus 300. Derrick Lewis returning plus 250. If you're going to bet on Derrick Lewis, don't even bet on the money line. Bet on the KO line, because that's the only way he's going to win this matchup. Alright, my homies, I've enjoyed breaking down this pay-per-view card. Make sure you leave your underdogs, your parlays, all of that good stuff in the comment section. And I'll catch you soon. Alright, peace.